what I want to talk about today is the 7 strategies that elite originators implement to make a net W-2 of $1 million. Does that sound like a good topic? So we're going to talk about the strategies, and I've divided them into 7 strategies, and then I broke it into a series of tactics. So let's jump into this here. One, it is rare in the mortgage industry to make $1 million, but it is not impossible. And having studied this for a career, the difference between someone making a $100,000 W-2 and someone making $1 million W-2, the difference is business skills. It's not luck. It's not like we're in the NBA where you have to have a lot of natural talent. It comes down to business skills. And here's the most exciting part, and why I like being in the event business and hiring people like Mike Ferry and Barry Habib, is you can learn skills. And so I'm going to do my best to take some of the skills I've implemented myself, but more importantly, ones I've studied from other originators. I'm the owner of Mortgage Executive Magazine. As you know, Mortgage Executive Magazine, we rank the top 200 originators in America. Last year, we had 46 originators in our magazine that closed $100 million or more. My best guess is that there's roughly 200 originators in the country that make $1 million or more W-2 income. Over the last 15 years, I've interviewed over 50 of them. And I've taken their best systems along with my own to create these 7 strategies. Now, personally, I've had a lot of ups and downs in this industry. I get humbled all the time. I'm not one of these guys that comes up and says, I've hit a home run 27 years in a row. I have ups and downs. But even with the ups and downs, over a 15-year stretch of my career, I funded $1.5 billion in home loans, $15 million in W-2s, $100 million the first time when I was 28, 3 years in a row, and I've managed to save a little bit of money along the way. So let's jump into it. How do we go from 100 and 200,000 to $1 million to $2 million? There are proven systems and strategies to double, triple, quadruple your income in 2 years. I know a loan officer using the systems I'm going to share with you that went from $250,000 W-2 to a $2 million W-2. Net W-2 income, not an inflated income of I did $300 million in loans, but I had 28 assistants and I made no money. I'm talking a W-2 following a lot of the systems that I'm going to share with you right here. I know another originator using the blueprint I'm going to share that gets 100 leads month in and month out. So really what we're talking about is a guaranteed plan about how to always make money. It costs $0. You don't have to sign up. You don't have to buy anything, and it's simple. So let's jump into it. What's the secret to avoid the feast and famine of the mortgage industry? It's a question we're always asking ourselves. And what I'll tell you is the most productive, highest paid mortgage professionals in the world have strong referral partnerships. The refinance boom of the last several years has hidden the flaws in most of our businesses, which is a lack of quality relationships. So what we want to talk about is what's the key strategy? What's the number one strategy? If you go across all the $1 million originators, Mike Ferry talked about this most of his presentation, it's prospecting. It is clearly the number one tactic to double, triple, quadruple your income. If an originator consistently every week reached out to 30 new agents that they don't do business with, and they kept reaching out with them each week until they got business, that alone would double your income. Now, the primary goal of prospecting is to get an appointment. A lot of originators fail to realize that. You're not going to call an originator cold and get your first deal on the phone. Your goal is only to get the appointment so that you can then build a relationship. So how many appointments should a $1 million W-2 originator have in a week? So I've studied this. Having talked to a number of them, 15 appointments per week is the optimal number. Now that can be referral partner appointments or loan apps, but here's the bottom line for the originators in the room. If you don't have 15 loan app appointments next week, you need to fill the gap with referral partner appointments. What's the number one indicator of future income in the origination business? It's appointment volume. It's kind of obvious. The goal is 2 hours of prospecting and 3 hours of belly-to-belly appointments. That's the goal we're looking at. I know an originator that interviewed went from $300,000 W-2 to a $3 million W-2 in 3 years with that one strategy of 2 hours of prospecting, 3 hours of belly-to-belly appointments. Here's the reality. We all get a little fat and lazy in refinance booms. I'm one of them for sure. You can never want to forget that your primary client is the referral partner. So here's a great script. If you want to call the listing agent on any of your transactions, here's a script that a $1 million W-2 originator uses. And I actually paraphrased her script. Hi, Mary, this is Steve Marshall. The reason for my call is that we've got a home purchasing process right now for you, and I just wanted you to know how we work and what you can expect from us. We're going to call you every Wednesday. We're going to send you regular emails with how the loan is doing. Do you currently get these kind of updates now? In most cases, they say no. So Mary, let me ask you a question. You said people don't do this for you now. What I'd like to do is have an opportunity to meet with you for a cup of coffee if we do exactly what we say and call you every single Wednesday. You think that's an option for you? Yeah, maybe. Well, excellent. I will absolutely do it, and we'll meet for a cup of coffee after the home closing. Here's a simple script to just call a top agent cold. Hi, Mary, this is Steve Marshall. And the reason for my call is I've made a decision this year to align myself with some of the best agents out there, and I believe you're one of them. I want to meet with you for 10 minutes to see if I could be a good fit for your business. What day and time are you available? Here's another simple script. And again, I'm keeping this very tactical because we got lots of other motivational. So my goal is just tactic, tactic, tactic. Here's a script of a $2 million W-2 originator that she uses to call referred real estate agents. Simple script. Hi, Mary. I was referred to you by Mr. and Mrs. Jones. Do you remember Mr. and Mrs. Jones? Quick story. I was talking with them yesterday about their refinance and said, hey, I'm their loan officer. So I asked, hey, who's your realtor? And they said it was you. Do you know what they said? They raved about you. They told me, Stephen, I bought and sold 5 homes. I'll never use another realtor. They were so impressed. Great job. I mean, your reputation precedes you. Congratulations on a great business. Mary, my goal in my business is to have 15 strategic partners. I have 13 today. My goal is to work with top people like you, put my heart and soul into you. I want to do whatever it takes to help you be more successful and generate more business. So a few quick questions. Help me understand what's important about real estate success to you, what's important about working with a lender to you, and how many families did you help last year? It's kind of a nice way to ask what the production is. And what's your goal this year? Okay, great. Mary, what I'd like to do is set up another appointment to share how I can help you generate more business and be more successful. So the key here is on that call, my goal is to pre-qualify them, just like we would a borrower, and then set up a one-on-one appointment so I can start building a relationship. I'm going to just jump in because I want to keep this moving fast. What do I think is the biggest money-making idea that elite originators use in this event? And it's a simple strategy. It's hire an appointment setter. Some people call it a dialer, some people call it a telemarketer, some people call it a business development executive. I'll share examples of all the above. But this is a home run idea. A dialer or telemarketer appointment setter is an extension of you. It's a multiplier. The dialer's primary goal is to get you appointments. The goal is to have conversations about you in the marketplace. Here's some simple scripts that a dialer can make on your behalf. And these are just quick, simple ones, just to give you an idea. Hey, how are you doing? I'd like to make an appointment with you and Stephen next week. How does 10 o'clock work? Hey, I'd like to invite you to this awesome happy hour that Stephen's throwing this Thursday or Wednesday. Hey, I'd like to invite you to this exclusive power lunch with 3 of the top agents in town sharing their best marketing and prospecting ideas. Hey, what I'd like to do is invite you to this real estate continuing education class we're doing next week. So simple scripts. You could have somebody pounding the phones, setting up appointments for you, building relationships for you. Here's the bottom line. The loan officer that has the most conversations wins. The primary thing, in my opinion, that separates a $100,000 W-2 from a $1 million W-2 is the number of referral partner conversations they have in a week. So you can't make big money in the mortgage business if you don't have a system. It's just that simple. So if you don't want to get rejected 95% of the time when you're prospecting, what do you need to do? Well, the secret, in my opinion, and having studied other top originators, is creating value in advance of the call. The more value you create, the more confident you are. The more value you create, the more likely you are to get an appointment. So what's the second strategy that elite originators implement? It's marketing. They're brilliant marketers. They target market realtors, builders, and financial planners. Marketing should make you stand out. Great marketing will get an agent to accept your call, and great marketing will get an agent to say yes to that first appointment. So here's some fun, clever marketing ideas that I've either done myself or accumulated from other originators that you could send out to get an agent's attention to grease the skids to get that first appointment. One of my personal favorites is I'd buy sheets of uncut $1 bills. You can buy them from the U.S. Mint. You can Google it. I'd send a sheet of $2 bills, and I'd say, hey, I'd like to help you double your income. Can we get together for a few minutes so I can help you, see how I can help you be more successful? Little Rubik's Cube. Don't be puzzled about how to get your loans closed. Tape measure. Our lender's not measuring up to your service standard. One of my favorites that another originator shared with me, he'd send a baseball out, autograph the agent's name on it, and say, I want to be on your team. Let's play ball together. Another originator shared this idea. Would take little plastic army men, send it to the agent, and say, let's go to war together. One of my favorites, John Bianchi, a friend of mine, $300 million originator a number of years ago, told me when he was really a go-getter, he would send a brick to the agent that he wanted to do business with a note that said, let's build a business together. Shayla's probably in the room. This is an example of that she shared, one of the top originators in the country. She'd send a shot glass out with a note saying, please give me a shot at your business. One of my favorites back in the day is I'd send a letter out to an agent. We all know they crumple it up and throw it away. So a week later, I'd send the same letter with a stamp on it saying, please don't throw me away again, with a handwritten note saying, I just want a few minutes of your time. So clever ideas. Now the simplest, easiest one is handwritten notes. I know originators making $1, $2, $3 million a year that take the time to handwrite notes. Now I know we all get busy. If you're too busy to do it, have someone on your team do it. There was a point I had 100 loans in process at once just a couple years ago, and I had my team had a whole drawer full of handwritten notes so that when we hit milestones, we were targeting somebody, we could just pull it out and implement it. To tell you how important I think it is, my event company and my magazine company, we're a small company, a lot of clients, but small company, we send out 6,000 handwritten notes a year. I literally place job descriptions looking for part-time person to help me write notes. That's how many notes we send out. Now, what is another way to target top agents? Again, my goal is just tactic idea. Another way, learning-based tools is a secret weapon to get agents' attention. What do I mean by that? Top agents, Mike Ferry will tell you this, Michael Mayer will tell you this, Brian Buffini will tell you this, top agents are into self-improvement and growth. They hire the best coaches like Mike Ferry. They come to events like this. They come to Mike Ferry events. So what do you want to do? You want to go to those same events, like Mike Ferry gave you tactics to help an agent be more successful. Why not capture those ideas, buy those, take their articles, take their insight, and give that back to agents as a way to get their attention and create value. I'll give you an example. I have a marketing company right now that works with 11 of the top mortgage bankers in America, Fairway, Guild, Caliber, Home Street, and a number of others. And we, on their behalf, market to real estate agents. We're up to 50,000 agents getting marketing. We have 70,000 signups, so it's 70,000 top agents in America. It's pretty much sold out, so I'm not telling you so you'll sign up. I'm telling you so you can see what we do so you can create something similar in your marketplace. So here's an example in Boston. The Fairway branch of Boston, Massachusetts picked 2,000 agents, and we just sent something each week to those agents on their behalf. So here's a sample. Dear Jennifer, hope things are going great. As the spring market warms up, please let me know if you have any clients that you would like to help get pre-approved this week. I'd also like to introduce you to Alan Dahm, the #1 condo real estate agent in the world. During this month's mastermind coaching session, he shares the strategies and marketing secrets that allowed him to become one of the top agents in the country. They click a button, they watch a 1-hour interview. It's something to get out of the pack. Another time I sent Ken DeLeon, Keller Williams' #1 agent 3 years in a row in the world. Last year he spoke at Mastermind, he actually spoke yesterday as well. We videotaped his presentation, sent it out with a note with agents, a 1-to-1 email. I just wanted to follow up on my personal invitation for a 5 to 10 minute coffee meeting. I know your time is valuable. I look forward to sharing new marketing ideas that will help you generate even more business. And you'll enjoy this month's live presentation with Ken DeLeon, one of the top agents in the world. What time is good for you next week? And then I've got a series, I'm just going to grab a sip of water here, a series of these type of emails that just go out each week. So let me summarize Email Marketing 101, because I got a lot of tactics to share, 2 hours worth to share in 40 minutes. Here's a couple keys when creating email marketing campaigns. I am not a big fan of HTML beautiful emails. Why? We all have a spam alert. We know when we see it, it's been sent to 1 million people. If you're going to send emails to agents, you want it to look and feel like a 1-to-1 email. You want it to look and feel like you sat there at your desk, wrote them an email one at a time. Now, inside the email, you could link to an article they'll find interesting. You could link to something that would be valuable to them. But the key is to make it personal. The second thing is have multiple email addresses. As an originator, I had Stephen at Caliber Home Loans, Steve Marshall at, Stephen at, Steve at. Why did I do that? So I could load up on my assistant's computer. I'd write an email once for different milestones, or I'd write an email once to target 100 agents, but I'd write it once, put it on her desk, and then she would send the email out on behalf of me. And when someone replied, she would filter it, decide which ones needed my attention. So if someone replied and said, take me off your list, you dirty scumbag, I'm never giving you a deal, I never saw those. Why this is important, I'll just give you an example. Growing my event company, I now have 2 full-time people that send out emails for me, 1-to-1 emails, and test them sometime. If you reply to an email that we sent out, my team will read it. If they don't know the answer, it will come to my desk, especially if you send it 2 times. It's 1-to-1. I want to connect with my clients, but I want to do it in a system. This is all about systems. So another idea. Top originators that earn $1 million or more in this business have a marketing calendar and they follow it. What things should be on your marketing calendar? Power lunches. What's a power lunch or a power breakfast? I mean, the phrase is something I kind of came up with, but what's a power lunch, power breakfast? That's where you get 100, 200, 300, 500 agents in a room. You bring somebody like Michael Mayer or Mike Ferry or Craig Proctor, and they do a presentation, and it's a chance to network with agents. Something you can do quarterly. If you're on a tighter budget, what I did in my marketplace is I actually invited 3 of the top agents locally to be on a panel. I ran the panel, and then I went to a title company, a foreclosure group, an Allstate, and asked them to chip in and pay for the lunch, and we had 300 agents come locally, and I controlled the entire event and had other people with my company involved. So that's something you can do quarterly. Monthly, a lunch and learn is the same concept as a power lunch. It's just on a much, much smaller scale. So you invite 50 agents that you know or that you want to know. Maybe you get a dozen to attend, but same concept. You can talk, you can have someone come as a guest speaker. You can, as far as creating content, a lot of people go, well, what would I cover in a lunch and learn? Well, it's real easy. Mike Ferry just spent an hour and a half telling you how to be wildly successful as an originator and a real estate agent. If you took good notes, those notes become your talking point for your monthly lunch and learn. I know an originator that went from 300 grand to 2 million. Lunch and learns was a big part of what allowed him to be successful. Happy hours are becoming more and more popular. I know an originator went from 250 to 1 million. He does a happy hour every single month. I talked to this gal at my office that was the #1 loan officer in a company. I said, how'd you get so many real estate agents? She said, what we did is we did CE classes for agents, and then I would follow up with the top agents that were in the classes at the end of the class and build a relationship. Item of value every week. I've shared some different ideas. You could send magazines, you can send personal handwritten note, you can send an email, something of value every week to real estate agents. So a marketing calendar and stick to it. You want a fun idea that a top loan officer shared with me on how to get in front of a mega agent? Instead of cold calling a $50 million agent cold, what if you called their assistant and their team and offered to buy them lunch like a title rep did? And then the next week you cold call the agent. Much more likely to get your first appointment. The odds go way up. One of my favorite ideas that I used pretty consistently a few years ago, I went and got my own radio show. Now, not for all the reasons that everyone else gets a radio show. Most people get a radio show with the goal of getting leads. I didn't want leads. I wanted a reason to be able to call every top agent, builder, and realtor in town and get an appointment. So my assistant called with a really simple script. It was something along the lines of, hi, we're with KKOL, Money Radio. We're the Seattle Bloomberg affiliate, and our station has a regular show with Ron and Sana from CNBC. Reason for our call is we're looking for guests for our local money show and real estate show on Saturday. Would you like to meet and be on our show? Well, guess what? Instead of 1 out of 10, which is what most people get if they cold call elephants, we got 6, 7, 8 out of 10 to take the appointment. What did I do? I brought them on the live show once. If they wanted to come on a second or third time, they had to pay, obviously for RESPA reasons, but I was looking for talent to come on my show. After the show, I'd take them to lunch, and I would tell them exactly what we could do to help be more successful. This is an idea that Real Estate Radio shared with me and worked extremely well. Loved the idea. Another cool idea. Do you want an idea on how I got the #1 agent in my state to work with me? 5,000 closed transactions over 5 years, all foreclosure. Elephant. Worked with the 2 biggest competitors of our company. No one could get in the door. I called him with a simple script. I knew him, but hadn't done business with him for 17 years. I said, I know you're really successful, and I have an idea that will help you generate more business. If you can deliver on that, you'll get appointments. So I got the appointment. It was a simple script. I came in with, and here's all I said. I said, look, if I can help you generate more business, which I think I can, I just want a shot at the business I help you generate. Does that seem fair? I mean, is it fair if we generate deals together, I get a shot at those? He said yes. In fact, it was his get-out-of-jail-free card to go back to his old loan officer and say, look, Steve just wants the new deals we're going to create together. That sounds fair and reasonable, doesn't it? And the idea being, now, of course, my ultimate goal is blow him away with value, blow him away with great service, take really good care of him. But it got me in the door. So then here's the actual strategy. You can model it. I said, look, you're already doing foreclosure workshops, dinner events, and have been very successful in financial services, but they have not been as successful in the real estate mortgage industry because it's just so expensive. It's just so expensive to put them on. I said, however, if we combined resources, if you paid for part of it, I paid for part of it, Allstate chipped in, a tax attorney chipped in, a CPA, a financial planner, a 1031 exchange. So we chipped in, and over an 18-month period, we had 1,000 real estate investors through our workshop. It worked. These are ideas. I ended up doing another one with an agent that specialized in multifamily properties. I did them with financial planners. Here's another idea. This is one of my favorite questions to ask panelists. So for those that were here last year, you probably remember this question. but I'm going to answer it myself. The question I like to ask is, if you had to start all over again in a brand new city with no database and no clients, what would you do to rebuild your business? So if I wanted to get back to making $1 million a year, and it seems like every 5 years I'm having to go back and reinvent myself anyway, so I've actually had to implement this. But here's what I would do. If I was dropped into a new city with no database and no money, what I would do personally is I would build a list I call my Dream 100 list. You know, who are the most successful people in town? Builders, realtors, financial planners. And using all the clever ideas I've just shared with you, I would hound them until I got appointments. I'd build a broader list of 1,000, and I would have a dialer or telemarketer pounding that list to get me appointments and get relationships. It'd be a simple system. So how do you build a list of all the top agents in town? Well, I have a new magazine, Real Estate Executive Magazine, that tracks the top 200 agents in America. Starting this summer, we're going to expand to the top 1 to 200 agents in every state. So we've already built a list of 10,000 agents that do at least 20 million or more, or 50 more transactions. And by the way, if you want the list, you can have the list as my gift. It took us forever to build it and get all their emails and phone numbers. It's one of the gifts we're including for signing up for next year's mastermind. We just include that. I also went and purchased a list of 1 million real estate agents. All their emails, contact information, cost a chunk of money. You can have that list for free as well. You can also go to your local MLS if you got a connection with an agent, do some reverse searches to find out who the top producers are. How do you get the top financial planners? Barron's Magazine does half the work for you. They produce a list every year of the top 1,000 financial planners in America. Now, they don't give you their phone number, their email, their contact. So I had my assistant go through 4 years of the rankings and look up every single person's email, contact information nationally. And that's another list that you guys can all have as my gift for signing up for next year. I got a list of 250,000 financial planners. You can have that as well. Here's the bottom line with marketing and creating values. You don't want to be a beggar. You don't want to be a beggar. You want to find unique ways to partner and add value to your real estate agents. Let me give you a clever idea that's been successful for me for the last few years. I own a company, Homeowner Magazine. Homeowner Magazine creates free co-branded magazines for real estate agents. It's really simple. Agent goes to homeownermagazine.com. It takes a couple minutes to upload logo, photo, contact information. They hit a button, and it creates a free monthly e-magazine that's downloaded they can send out. Here's a sample of what it looks like. Here's a sample of actual magazine we created for a RE/MAX agent. Articles on remodeling, articles on decorating. This is something the agent can send to their clients. Information on tax savings. Here's the best part. The back page of each magazine is custom for each loan officer. So here's the Fairway version, the Megastar version, the Home Street version, the Security National. So here's again how it works for the agent. Every agent in America can go on there and get a free on-demand magazine. We then have let's call it a premium service to make sure that we're RESPA compliant, where the agent can pay $1 a month, $12 a year total to us. The agent has to pay this, by the way. You can't pay it. It's a nominal fee. I get it. $12 seems pretty nominal, but we want 100% compliance. Agent pays the $12. They can load up 500 of their clients. We'll send 6,000 emails for them for $12 a year. Or they can pay 99 cents and we'll print a 52-page color glossy magazine, mail it to their client for them. It's half the price of anything else out there in the marketplace. So our goal is to partner with the loan officer for each real estate office. The exclusive loan officer is the only one that can market that magazine in that real estate office. And here's the best part. As the partner, your ad's on the back cover of every magazine in that office. So it's unlimited free advertising. If those agents send out thousands and thousands of magazines, you're on the back cover of all of them. What's the value of the loan officer? It's another great reason to call top agents. You know, let's say you're a go-getter. You get 10 to 20 agents to sign up in an office. They each have 200 clients in their database. They send something print or digital out monthly. Well, that's 25 to 50,000 digital touches. It's only $20 a month. And that's not per agent, that's for the whole office to be the exclusive lender. Here's the best part, though. I wanted to get to the best part. I'm going to give everybody here, as part of signing up for next year, a free office. Not just for 2015, but for all of 2016 as well. So it's free to you, free to your agents. Pick the biggest, most successful office in your state, and that will be your office. Now, they're on a first-come, first-serve. Obviously, everyone wants the #1 Century 21 office in Los Angeles. And some mortgage companies have come along and already reserved a bunch of states. But California's open, New York's open, Ohio, Miami, Dallas, Chicago. There's a number of markets open. And some loan officers, not companies, but loan officers have reserved 18 offices. So that's a free gift. If you want to do it for the next year and a half, we can do that. Here's another cool free item for your real estate agents. And also, we're going to make it available to you for free for a year and a half. It's called Referral Nation. It's a free agent-to-agent referral network. Here's how it works. Most referral exchanges charge the agents a fee and collect a big chunk of the referral commission. Our platform's free to the agent and free to you. We use a social media platform like LinkedIn, Facebook, where the agents can search the best agents in town. They go to Referral Nation, takes a couple minutes, they can start sending referrals. And again, we want to partner with an exclusive loan officer like Homeowner Value. It's just another reason to reach out to agents. The whole goal, my whole mindset as a marketer, so I get, Rick Rubio will get up and talk about prospecting. Make more phone calls, make more phone calls. Mike Ferry will get up and talk about prospecting. Prospecting is number one. There's no doubt. I'm not going to argue with Mike Ferry or Rick Ruby. But prospecting without marketing is just dumb hard work. I mean, you can grease the skids. I mean, how nice would it be to call an agent in your town and say, hey, how would you like to be the go-to agent for any referrals from this national network of thousands of agents that might have somebody relocating into Los Angeles or Seattle? It's free to join. You don't pay any fees during the referral process, just whatever you agree to the agent on the other end. And here's the coolest part. If a loan officer's a go-getter and they sign up 10, 20, 30 agents, every time one of those agents get a referral, you get the referral. So you get 10 to 20, 30 times the number of referrals. Again, free office 2015, 2016. If you want extra offices, if they end up being available, I think most of the free ones will probably gobble up the whole market share, but there might be some extra ones in some markets. So let me transition those. Those are some cool tools I wanted to make available. Number 3 strategy that elite originators implement is they build relationships. Makes sense. You prospect, you market, you build a relationship. Blocking and tackling. What's my best advice on relationship building? Leave the office by noon every day. Every single day. Have agent lunches, one-on-one appointments, happy hours, teach CE classes. The goal, again, is 15 appointments a week. I know one of the highest paid loan officers in the country made $4 million as an originator last year, W-2 income, consistently. Every week he has 15 appointments with realtors. There's a system to follow. Now, as part of those 15 appointments, make 5 of them lunch meetings. The goal in total that another top originator shared with me, 50 great conversations a week. Phone or in person, borrowers or referral partners. I know an originator that went from $250,000 W-2 to $1 million W-2. And their number one strategy, every week keeping a daily log to make sure they had 50 great conversations a week. This is easy. If originator A has 15 appointments, originator B has 2, who's going to be the most successful? At the end of the day, as an originator, I found in my career, you're literally looking for 15 great relationships. They give you 10 deals or more a year. You can make $500,000 to $1 million a year with just 15 great relationships. Now, there's only 2 reasons why an agent will pick a loan officer. They're either going to pick you because they like you, or they're going to pick you because you help them be more successful. So master both of those areas. What's the best idea that I found in interviewing all these top originators to build relationships? I've already touched on it, but I'm just going to emphasize it, is joint events with agents. And they don't have to be big dinner events on foreclosure investing. They could be simple. What if you had your assistant, maybe you had a dialer or a marketing assistant, call an agent's database and email an agent's database and invite them to a joint happy hour or joint client appreciation event? It's a great way. What if you went to a builder and said, how many people have come through your open house in the last 3 months? Oh, we've had hundreds. Well, what if I had my assistant call them all and email them all, and let's do an open house party, a special invitation-only party, and invite them all back one more time? That's something you can do in partnership. So I think dinner events are powerful. Client appreciation events are valid. I've added them up. Over my career, 3,000 clients have come through dinner events in partnership with realtors, builders, and financial planners. Here's a great script that a top originator shared with me when interviewing a new agent. Simple. I've been using something similar my whole career, but let me use hers here. Rather than talk about closing your loans on time and good service and all that stuff, what I'd like to talk about is how to do more business, how I can help you reach your goals. I believe that good service should be expected from any loan officer you work with. Then talk about dinner seminars, joint marketing, dialer following up on leads, unique ways to add value. So what's the number 4 strategy? Again, I'm trying to go fast because I know we all want to hear President Bush, who will be arriving very soon. In fact, he may already be backstage. So I'm going to try to burn through this in the next 15 minutes. But the number 4 strategy is team building that elite $1 million W-2 originators use. Here's the key. I don't know of a single originator that makes $1 million that doesn't have a team. So the first step to going from $100,000 to $1 million a year is to build a team. Building the right team is a foundation you can double, triple, quadruple your income with. Now, most loan officers don't have a team, or they have the wrong team. And most loan officers are terrible at delegation. So here's some tactics I've learned in my own career. As an originator, there's $50 an hour work and there's $500 work. $50 an hour work is fine. You can make a good living as an originator. You can make $100 grand a year doing $50 an hour work full time. $50 work is making sure your loan is compliant. It's making sure the pay stub is into the underwriter so you can close on time. It's making sure you do the things to maintain your license. $50 an hour work is where you're building relationships. You're making the sale. That's what $1 million originators do. They spend all their time selling and building relationships. They hire a team to do the rest. The best quote that I've heard that kind of sums it up is Frank Sinatra doesn't move pianos. What's the lesson there? He doesn't do all the other stuff. He does what he's gifted at. See, as an originator, there's things you're good at, bad at, and great at. Build a team so you're in the zone doing the things you're great at. The best business model to study is a dental office. Think about it. You walk into a dental office, there's a receptionist helping you fill out paper, scheduling the appointments, there's somebody doing bookkeeping, there's a dental assistant, a dental hygienist, and a well-run dental practice actually has 3 patients all going at the same time as the dentist kind of bops between the patients. That's why dentists make $300,000, $500,000. The really good ones can make $1 million just like originators because they're in the zone doing $500 work. So what are the types of assistants that either I've hired or seen other $1 million originators hire? 3 types are a loan coordinator or production partner. The key here, don't hire inexperienced people. Hire A players to manage your pipeline. Get the right people. Just find charming, experienced mortgage professionals that don't want to be on 100% commission. A good production partner can actually manage a loan from app to close, in some cases better than you if you have the right person. You know, we all have ADHD. We're bouncing off the walls. Here's the best way. Would an underwriter be better at managing a loan or a loan officer? Clearly the underwriter. They just aren't charming and well, I'm just having fun here. As your team gets bigger, you want a team manager or an operation manager, which is kind of an experienced production partner. The other type of an assistant is an executive assistant or a marketing assistant. This is someone that manages your personal schedule, helps you convert warm leads into appointments, helps you implement your marketing, helps you implement your marketing calendar. The third type of assistant, I've covered this a little bit earlier, so I'll go through this briefly, but it's a business development position, a telemarketer, a dialer. This is a home run idea. This is the best idea that elite originators use. They convert leads to prospects. They're out shaking bushes. A good dialer can call 100 people a day, talk to 20, invite people to happy hours, cold call agents. They can call your past clients. The schedule refis, you got to make sure compliant and licensing is something you got to look into. But if they're calling an agent to invite them to a happy hour, you've got some flexibility there. Now, what's an advanced dialer? I call it a business development manager. This is a position for large teams. So don't go out and hire a business development manager tomorrow unless you've got an established team. But think of it like a title rep. A title rep is out building relationships. A business development manager doesn't even have to know anything about loans. They just have to be able to build relationships. I'll give you an example. A number of years ago, I hired a director of business development when I owned my own company, so a number of years ago. And this guy was the #1 AT&T wireless outside sales rep in the country. Made a good income, but nothing like we can make in the mortgage business. So I came on and said, here's your job description or quota. Your quota is to get me 100 financial planner relationships, and I'll give you a little override on every deal you bring in. And we put together a kick-butt plan where we got hundreds of financial planners through a CE class that I taught. And at the end of it, he then called each one of them to build the relationship. And when he saw an opportunity for a real relationship, he brought me in at the very end. I nailed the relationship. My team closed the loan. So there's just ways of leverage. Here's the thing I want every originator in the room to ask themselves. Do you always want to be a one-man band? It's a decision. Would you rather do the work or have someone do the work for you? See, it's wrong thinking to believe you have to do everything. There is too much paperwork in the mortgage business to do everything yourself without a system and a team. See, you want to be the rainmaker. You want to generate income. You want to make the phone ring. You want to hire a team to support you. You do the $500 work. You have a team around you that supports you. Now, what's the biggest fear of every loan officer when we start talking about team? It's kind of obvious. What if I hire a big team and the leads stop? So what's the simple solution? Hire the team to generate leads. Once you have more leads, then hire a team to help you close more loans. That's the biggest problem. People have a whole bunch of production partners and no business development partners. And they wonder why when the refis turn off, all of a sudden they have a big team. This is an epidemic of originators, and it's an epidemic of big companies. Hire people to generate leads. We all know the 80-20 rule, so I'll make it quick. But as it relates to the mortgage industry, what I found is most originators spend 80% of their time doing paperwork and busy work, 20% of their time selling. What if you flipped it around? 80% of your time prospecting and 20% of your time managing your pipeline. You literally quadruple your income. That's what $1 million originators do. I'm going to give you an example. I went to an originator, did a site visit a number of years ago. This is well over 10 years ago. And this guy did, maybe close to 15 years ago, did $250 million a year. And on my way to the site visit, I was flying to Chicago. It's Jeff Lake. And I went on my way to do a site visit. And the whole way out there, I'm going, how does anybody close 1,000 loans a year? Doesn't it almost seem physically impossible to do 1,000 loans? The whole general premise of someone making $100,000 is that person is lying. They have 12 assistants. They're really not making any money anyways, or they're working 150 hours a week with their life out of balance. And so I had to go see it live. And he let me do it. I sat there in his office, and here was the secret. It was simple. He had a two-step loan process, or I should say application process. He would make the sale, build trust, and then hand the file off literally mid-application to his assistant who would finish the paperwork and close the loan. Changed my life. Within a year or two of that interview, I did $200 million a year, 3 years in a row. See, it's impossible to prospect 30 hours a week and personally do every detail on your loan. So build a team so after you make the sale, you never touch the file again. Now here's the key, because I know there's a lot of people objecting to this. Look, yes, you have to oversee the details. We're licensed. We got to stay compliant. But you don't have to do all the details yourself. That's the breakthrough. So here's what a $1 million W-2 originators team tends to look like. One team member per 5 to 6 deals. So if you're closing 30 loans a month at an income of $3,000 to $4,000 a loan, that's $90,000 to $120,000 of income per month. Assuming you pay for your assistants, that's $50,000 to $30,000 coming off the top. That's $75,000 to $90,000 income. That's what it looks like. I know originators with 8 to 12 assistants making $2 million to $4 million a year in the same markets competing the way we are. Now I want to take a step back. There's these big numbers. I might have lost a few people. Let's talk about the $100,000 loan officers in the room. And I know what you're thinking. I'm a $100,000 originator. I hire a $40,000 assistant. I just went to $60,000. I mean, how many people have been the low-paid man on their team before I've been there? It's no fun. So what are some solutions? One, for a licensed, skilled position, you could share it with another team. You could have a team. 3 of you could split a production partner. But I'm going to transition to marketing here real quick. Write this down, elance.com. We've all heard of crowdsourcing and outsourcing, and Elance is a virtual international marketplace around the world. You can find short-term marketing project people. You can find permanent part-time telemarketing positions. Here's how simple it is. You could place a job description tomorrow for free with a job that says, here's how simple it would be. I'd like an experienced telemarketer to call 1,000 real estate agents to set up appointments for me. That's the simplest job description. You will have 30 responses within 48 hours. They will range from $5 an hour. Now, that person doesn't live in the country. I want to clarify that, but they might be more of a go-getter than you would get in the country, all the way to $25 to $30 an hour for someone that's an experienced 10-year veteran that will pound the phones for you. You could put a position like this. I'd like an experienced email marketer to send biweekly emails to my database of agents and clients for me. I got people responding that were Salesforce gurus, Marketo email experts, Google AdWords experts. They're freelancers. So they might have 10 clients that each hire them 3 or 4 hours a week. So you're paying $100 a week to have a guru do your marketing for you. You could put a job like this. I'd like someone to help plan and organize my client appreciation events. Maybe it's a 4 or 5 hour a week job and you don't have 4 or 5 hours. You hire someone, $25 an hour, $100 a week. You could find people that could run this event on there for $35, $50 an hour. You could find somebody that's more of a, my point being, you could find very skilled freelance people. Now, I think the highest leverage is telemarketing. I keep coming back to this. And my whole goal with pounding on the dialer is the reality is loan officers, and I'm the most guilty of this, is it's not fun to get on the phone and just dial, dial, dial. So having a system to do it for you has high leverage. So let me just share, you went to Elance, you post the job, you get 1 million responses. What if you hired someone just 1 day a week, 8 hours a day to pound the phones like no one's business? They dial 100 agents, assuming you're sending direct marketing out beforehand, clever marketing to get their attention. If they dial 100, they'll probably reach 20, and if the marketing's good, they'll probably get 2 to 3 appointments. Now map that out over a year. That's 100 to 150 new agent appointments a year. Do you know how rare that is? It's extremely rare. but that's what $1 million W-2s originators, you could hire this person for $5 an hour, pound the phones for $40 a day, doing a job that none of us want to do, following up on your direct mail marketing with those simple scripts. So there's strategies. Again, I'm going to try to move quickly here. Strategy number 5, business systems. Look, you got to run your business like a business. Track every lead, know your numbers. Loans are harder than ever. That's why we need structure and systems. I know an originator making $1 million a year that has a system where he has a theme for every day of the week. Monday calls referral partners. Tuesday calls loans and status, listing agents, buying agent, etc. Wednesday calls pre-approvals. Thursday calls VIP clients. Friday calls new agents he wants to do business with. Here's the bottom line. When you don't have enough leads, you chase ugly leads, and ugly leads kill your business. The key to getting rid of bad leads is to have a high barrier of entry. Don't skip your daughter's soccer game to meet with a lead at 10 a.m. on Saturday. Be a business person, be a doctor. Let your team take care of the ugly leads. And how do you do that? It comes down to time blocking. Have a system. Block the time you're going to be out having one-on-one meetings with agents, the time you're going to be prospecting, the time you're going to be managing your pipeline. See, we're going to get pulled in a million directions if you don't do this. From my perspective, loan officers are working way too hard. They're working way too many hours, and all they need is a simple plan and then follow that plan. I know an originator that a few years ago had 0 assistants, no business systems, but they're clipping along, making 200 grand, which is a good income, and they had 100 grand in the bank. They followed these type of systems we're talking about, and within 4 years, they're a multi-millionaire with a team freeing them up to sell. See, look, most loan officers jump from emergency to emergency. They have to rebuild their business every single month because they don't have a foundation. They don't have structure and systems. That's the whole point of this. So we're coming down the home stretch, just a few minutes. Strategy number 6 is wow service. Getting a loan sucks. We all know it. It's tough. It's not fun for a client. So you have to be proactive when you communicate to your clients. The 3 keys, wow service, close on time, proactively communicate. If your service sucks, you aren't going to keep realtors. And wow service is not an accident. See, if you grow too quickly without building world-class service, you'll crash and burn. Your agents are counting on you. Under promise, over deliver. Point out the things that could go wrong. Create a sense of urgency for the borrower on missing documents. Take a great app. Close your purchases in 30 days or less. Final strategy. Top originators are into business planning and goal setting. The most successful originators have clear goals and business plans. If you want a homework assignment tonight before you go to bed, especially if you're all fired up, create a 5-year business vision. Think big. I don't have Tony Robbins here, unfortunately, to fire you up, and I'm not really a motivator, I'm an originator. But you gotta think big. You gotta think really big. See, my opinion, most originators just aren't ambitious enough. They're not driven. You gotta want it all. How much money do you wanna earn? I mean, honestly, how much do you wanna earn? See, the average originator makes 35 grand a year. Now I'm factoring in all the bank originators. Average agent makes 11 grand a year. The odds are stacked against you. Do you wanna make 500,000 a year? Do you wanna make $1 million a year? Who would like to make $2 million a year, by the way? That sound kind of nice? My best year as an originator, $2 million W-2. That was net, net, net. After every Mercedes lease, every trip I could write off, I paid taxes on $2 million my best year. Why not you? Why not you? You got to stretch yourself. That's my whole point. This isn't about me, it's about you. How many weeks of vacation do you want? A lot of people think, oh man, you must have been working 90 hours a week. No. When I did 200 million 3 years in a row with my own little company, I took 12 weeks off a year because I created so many leads, my team needed me to get away so they could get them all closed. How much cash do you want in the bank? I think you need at least $2 to $3 million cash in the bank. That should be your number one goal. Some of you need to think bigger. I just raised my goal to 20 to 30 million. I'm only sharing that so you just stretch. Whatever you thought was possible, stretch it. How many referrals do you want? Create a very detailed business plan. I wrote a business plan many years ago when I was very young. I came to an event a lot like this, Todd Duncan. I wrote a business plan, and I followed that business plan through my career through thick and thin. See, ask yourself this. Do I want to be great, or am I going to be average? And write this down. I can have it all.